Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trading with Ashley show. I wanted to talk to you about a stock that you probably heard about, but you weren't quite sure what it was all about. And it really does have the potential to make you wealthy because it's brand new in what it offers and it supports all things AI. I am talking about CoreWeave. Now, we have a wonderful play that we just did in our community, and it gave us over a 5% return in 1 week. Basically, it was a buy right. I've spoken about those before and how powerful they are. We ended up buying 100 shares of the stock. We immediately turned around and sold covered calls because the premium is incredible right now. So on the call away that will take place on Friday, it will give us a return of over $600 in that short time frame. And that's the power of a buy right. And also, it's the power of a stock that's new on the scene and everybody's talking about. As option sellers, we can take advantage of that premium to line our pockets. As my students saw the stock shoot up, all of us were a little bit regretful that we even had a covered call on it. Now, it will be great forced profit, but it ran up so much today. I came up with a plan for us to either get our shares back at the price we let them go or make a lot of money trying. And so I'm going to share that portion of the trade with you. Unfortunately, you won't be able to take advantage of the other trade that I gave you due to the fact that we got it so low in its price life cycle this week, but you will be able to take advantage of future trades. Now, if you want full access to all of my trades and you want to see how we were able to produce a 15% return in May, then consider joining the community. It's money well spent, and so many people say that they make their fees back that they spent on the community for the lifetime membership in a matter of weeks, not months. Also, our $25,000 challenge has been so popular, and it looks like we are going to surpass our goal for how we were able to produce income off of that $25,000. I'll have a complete wrap up for you soon, but I will be starting a new challenge in a few weeks, and you can only participate if you're part of the community. So if you want to get all of your funds put together and join the community, you'll be able to take advantage of that challenge as well. You know I like to use analogies, so I have come up with a few to help you better understand the power of this particular ticker symbol if you want to use it to grow your wealth. Here's a few examples. Imagine you're helping your kid prepare for a big college entrance exam, let's say like the SAT. You don't just hire any tutor. You go for the best, most well-known tutor who's proven that they can get results faster and at a lower cost than the competition. That's what CoreWeave is like for businesses building AI. It's like hiring an elite AI tutor, a super powerful specialized cloud computing service packed with NVIDIA GPUs that helps companies train AI models. It helps create stunning visuals or process huge databases faster and cheaper than the big name cloud providers like Amazon and Google. Just like that tutor that gets your kid ready for college in record time, CoreWeave helps businesses power through their AI projects with speed, efficiency, and they have a stellar reputation working with big companies like OpenAI. Here's a few more examples. Here's how CoreWeave is like the ultimate AI tutor for businesses. First, it powers Stable Diffusion, creating jaw-dropping AI art in seconds, not hours. Second, it's behind super smart chatbots like Grok, answering your questions in a flash. And third, it helps studios render blockbuster movie effects that we love so much in hours, not weeks. Let's take a look at how you might consider trading this. Because this stock has such an opportunity to continue to run over time, you might consider starting to dollar cost average into it, meaning you set an automatic buy based on your preference so that it buys it either every day, every week, or every month. And when you see red days, you want to double up what you're buying so you can lower your average. Here was the original trade that I gave my members yesterday, so I will go ahead and expand it so that you can get a better look at it. So here's how this works. We purchased CoreWeave at around the $117 mark, but because the premium was so significant, we went ahead and sold a call. Now, the decision to do this had to do with the fact that CoreWeave had a lot of momentum behind it. It was very high on the RSI, and it was stretching at the top of its Bollinger Band. Now, this is yesterday, so I made the decision to go ahead with an at-the-money call so that if it did pull back, that I would get a significant discount on the stock, and then I could hold it and sell calls in the future. But it just took off, and so that actually is going to help us on a return, and let me explain. So we purchased these 100 shares at the $117 mark. I turned around and sold the call at 118, expiring in just a few days, this Friday, June the 6th, and for that I received $550. So on the call away, I'll get a total of $617. You see that right here. It's a combination of the very small stock appreciation. You're just looking at 70 cents a share, coupled with the $550 for the call away. Now, here's how I look at the return and how this is so aggressive for a return, because I'm making a significant amount of money in a very short time. So the way you would do this is you would take the 617, that's the profit that you would make off of this trade, and you would take that 617 and divide it by the amount of capital it took to put it on. So that would be $617 divided by 11,730, and that is 0.052. And if you multiply that by 100 to get our percentage, that's 5.2% in 1 week. And if you look at the annualized returns, you would multiply that by 52 weeks, and that sits at a whopping 273% return. Now, you won't find a trade setup like this every week, but I spend all day long looking for setups like this. And in fact, the next challenge that we are going to do as a community will involve the buy right specifically. And this is how it's so effective, because you can rinse and repeat with this process. You just have to find a different stock that's at a good point for you to do this type of trade. Now, like I said, the worst case scenario would be if it pulls back from this 118 at my expiration date and the shares are not called away. Well, look, I was able to at least get a discount because my net amount is $111 per share that I ended up paying because that credit was so aggressive. So this works well for a stock that's already in a bullish mode and you want exposure to it, but you want a little bit of a discount in case you actually end up holding the shares. Now, what if you are like my members and you want exposure to this stock? Now, we're having our shares called away, but if you want to regain your shares, then here's how we would go about it. And this is the trade you may want to consider putting on, or something similar. So what we're doing here, we are on the Robinhood platform and we're looking at a sold put. Now, when you sell a put, you are putting up the money to buy the shares. And so what I want to do is look at next week, June the 13th. That's 10 days away. And I want to scroll down here to the strike price that I had my shares called away at. That was 118. So let's take a look at that. If I sell this put, I'll be getting $4.05 a share. So $400 for trying to gain my shares back that I already made a handsome return on. Now, you could consider that we got so much premium for the other trade, you might want to go a little bit higher and get even more money. So you could go with the 120 and you'd get $450. And you can look at doing this along the way as the stock continues to rise. Let's say it doesn't pull back and we get close to our expiration date on June the 13th, and it looks like I'm nowhere near the 118 level that I had initially sold. Well, I can roll this trade up and get even more premium, trying my best to get assigned. There's so many variations that you can do with options to try to either get the stocks back or get paid while trying to do so. And then if I never get assigned, I could just take all of this premium that I'm making and actually go buy the shares with the premium that I have created. Remember, if you're with me trading with Ashley, there is no trader left behind. Now, the first trade that I showed you that gave us such an incredible return in a short amount of time, that was a buy right. I'm going to go ahead and leave a video I did on the buy right so that you can study it and better understand how to trade that way.